Good afternoon. Thank you for joining me, Journey of Faith. My name is Pam, and hopefully, you're all having a blessed day. Yesterday, I had to go into town and I had a little bit of a funny experience. And this was not the first time this has happened to me. Let me back up just a moment. Within this last year, I stopped dyeing my hair. And I've noticed that people definitely react to me differently. I mean, completely differently. Yesterday, for example, I'm unloading groceries from the cart. I'm in the parking lot, unloading them from the cart, putting them into my car. I have not one, but two ladies that come up to me and ask if they can help assist me putting the groceries into my car. Don't get me wrong, I appreciate it. I truly did. But I was like, how am I so different than what I was just a few months ago? Nobody ever did that for me a few months ago. I guess I just look like this old, frail individual. I'm sorry, my bad. I just got sidetracked. But we're going to start off with our Bible verse, and this is from Isaiah 43:2. And this says, "When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. And when you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. The flames will not set you ablaze." That's just telling us to have faith in God, is all that's telling us to do. Um, Today, we're going to continue with where we left off on my last video of about the immigrants coming in illegally from Mexico into the United States. And like I said before, I know this is a very controversial subject, but I'm going to cover it anyways. And I'm just going to go off into a little bit different area this time. Now, this story is off of the Washington Post, and what it's saying is that smugglers and cartel currently are making like $7 billion a year in getting illegal aliens into the United States. As soon as I saw that, I thought, what are we supporting? And we have to be supporting it because we're doing nothing about it. We know it's happening and we're doing nothing to stop it. $7 billion to bring illegal aliens into this country. Okay, keep that number in mind. That does not even include the drugs that are being brought in. Fentanyl is one of the nation's number one killers right now. And the main source of that is coming right from Mexico. Which the main port that comes into is out of San Diego and Southern California ports. Didn't really tell you, and they probably don't know either, how much they're making off of that. But that's a threat, not only to you and I, but more importantly, that is a major threat to our children. All you hear about, it's like every day, you hear about another one that overdosed, whether it be accidental, because they picked up a candy bar. Yeah. At high school, it's all over around here. People are putting fentanyl into candy bars and offering a child a candy bar at school. And their parents get called up. Hey, go to pick up your child. They're at the emergency room because they had an overdose of fentanyl. What? This is crazy. These are our children. These are our children. You know, I've never really at all been into drugs, so I can't say what that's like. I don't know anything about it. I know in California and a number of other states, even marijuana is legal to where, you an individual can't go out and grow it. But if you have a license to where you're paying a fee to the government, you can grow it, you can sell it, blah 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 blah. But what bothers me is I don't do this. I like having my privacy. I like staying in my house. But when I am sitting in my house and I like to have my windows open, and sometimes even when they're closed, all I can smell, especially on the weekends or a holiday, especially on a holiday, is skunk. It smells like the worst skunk you've ever smelt in your life. I couldn't figure out what it was, and I thought there was, at first, I was so stupid. I thought there was an epidemic of skunks around here. And one of my sons told me, no, that's skunk weed. Nowadays, what they're doing is it smells more like sewer. It's the best way I know to describe it. But it's disgusting. But if I'm in my house, I don't want that to interrupt me and my life, because that is nauseating smell to me. I can't stand it. So I understand if people want to do that, that's your right, that's your prerogative. But what about my rights? I don't want that infringed on me. But back to these drugs being brought in here. Right now, with this fentanyl, all of our schools are being equipped. Schools, bars, first responders, everybody's got the Narcan at school just so they don't overdose on Narcan. So they don't overdose on fentanyl, so they have to be given the Narcan. And it's being put into candy. There was even a place here to where they found it. It was in a convenience store. It was in a package of Skittles that they found fentanyl in Skittles. What? Who's monitoring this stuff? Come on. Really? People, we need to speak up. I don't know if we need to contact our congressman. I'm not really a big protester type person because, that sort of stuff just creates more chaos. But there has to be a legal way to rectify this. Then you get to looking, and I was like, okay, well, let's look at the immigrants. How many immigrants have died coming into this country this year? I'm looking at a number of over 1,800 that they know of. That's 1,800 innocent lives. There was a place in Texas, and I saw on the news here a few weeks ago, and it was done by a mortuary. And it's things that we never take into consideration. This, if someone dies, whether they're legal, whether they're illegal, whether they have money, whether they don't, the mortuary still has to take care of that body and those people. This one mortuary in West Texas, just outside of the border area, had to buy another one or two, I forget, cooler containers that they buy, big, like walk-in cooler containers to store bodies because there were so many illegal immigrants that had died. They can't just, what are they? They're supposed, they got to do something with them. They can't just leave them. But there's that many. And then you get into the fact, and this was something that definitely bothered me. How many Americans have died in this last year by the hands of illegal aliens? You see nothing. The only thing you see is comments that Trump was making while he was running in the beginning of his presidency, where he said at one point there was over 10,000 and another time there was over 20,000 U.S. citizens that had died at the hands of illegal immigrants. Now those claims, you can still see those, but they've been basically what you call debunked and say they're false statements. They've been through a fact checker and saying those were complete and utter lies. Well, what I find interesting about that is I remember when he was running and in the beginning of his presidency, there was a huge ordeal going on about the number of U.S. citizens that were dying at the hands of illegal aliens. Now, if we've got more coming in here now than we did then, are you going to tell me that there's none now compared to then? Not sure why they're now saying that everything he said was false, and that's fine. I'm just reporting what I'm coming up with. All I can say is I think it's time that we all, as Americans, stand up for our rights. This is our country. And whether it means, like I say, we contact our congressman, whatever we need to do. I don't promote violence. I don't promote protesting. I just don't, because you start protesting and very seldom does it lead to a peaceful or end in a peaceful demonstration. But we seriously need to do something. This is our kids. This is our country. And something has to be done. And I'm just asking for all of you to help and see what we can come up with together. And that's what I pray for. Well, hopefully that was a little bit informative for you, and I will catch you next time. Bye-bye for now. Have a blessed day.